And we are live with another episode of an after show, but the first episode of the Andor after show. It's not another episode. We do too many after shows here. I'm your host, Dimitri Pereira, and we watched Andor on our own, either the night before or during the day, and we're here on 10 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday night here to talk about Andor, specifically the first 3 episodes of Andor. Hopefully everybody out there can hear me. I think we're doing good. I think we are. But anyone out there, let me know if you can hear me or not. But episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Andor premiered last night, and we're here to talk about it. And I'm your host, Dimitri Pereira, and I'm not here alone. In fact, I got my regular Star Wars guests and co-hosts. Today it's a little bit confusing on what everybody's role is, but we're just here to hang out. We got classic Star Wars co-host Matthew Morey. Matthew, how you doing?
What's up? Doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing good. You were my co-host for all the Star Wars after shows up until this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tonight we're going to do a little baton pass. So who's the guest and who's the co-host tonight? I'm not quite sure. But Matthew Morey, you'll be my co-host for tonight. And our guest, our wonderful guest, frequent guest on the Keeg, is Miss Marauder herself, Sarah Zitney. Sarah, how you doing?
Hello. I'm great. Just delightful.
Are you in a good mood?
I am.
Okay. Is it because of Andor?
Yeah, it's because of Andor, and then my child this is a tangent to start off the show, but she busted her lip open at bedtime tonight because she was trying to kiss her framed picture of Four Town from Turning Red, and she fell into the frame and busted her lip open. So
no. You should.
She's fine. It was a hilarious situation.
Does she kiss a lot of pictures?
No, she taught, the pictures we play a game where her pictures come alive and talk to her. But the only ones that she kisses is Four Town. She's a Four Townie.
That's fair. Are they doing anything more with Four Town? I didn't finish Turning Red.
I don't think so.
But
I don't think so.
More with him?
I don't know. Not that I know they at D23 they were selling vinyls of the album.
Oh.
But yeah.
What's up to Dr. Derpy out there, aka Derpy Gaming? Derpy Gaming on YouTube and Dr. Derpy on Twitch. Dr. Derpy hopped over to Twitch because we are streaming from twitch.tv/The Keeg Show, and we're streaming to twitch.tv/The Keeg Show and to youtube.com/The Keeg Show. And then, if you're listening to this, you're listening to this post game, and that's on our podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Any of the main 5 will do. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really, okay, no, I was going to say I didn't kiss any books. I did kiss books when I was a kid. I did.
Oh, when you were a kid.
Well, I mean, what's a kid, really? 4th grade, 5th grade? There was a, Animorphs was my favorite series. And
Rachel,
yeah.
Yeah.
Both Rachel in the books and the actress who played Rachel in the TV show. So,
Speaking of people we want to kiss, Cassian Andor, right?
Is he your type?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Not really my number 1 pick. If I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
But is he supposed to look kind of scraggly in this?
I think so, but I think he's supposed to be attractive. I mean, I think they kind of canonically have made it that he's hot.
Yeah.
Because they do mention multiple times that he's got lots of ladies. Love that for him and for just the wider Star Wars camp.
I love it for him.
Love it for him.
I love it for him, Yeah, no, they did mention that. Andor is an interesting show, I guess, if we're summing up the 3 episodes. First thing, interesting that they released all 3 at the same time, but that's fair. Would we have wanted... Wait, how many episodes is this season?
12.
12 episodes, so we're getting 10 weeks, right? Because one week is
10 weeks.
I'm an English teacher, so I can't do math.
That's fair. It might have run its course if it was going 12 weeks, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
But how are we feeling about Andor? So far, the live action Star Wars stuff that we've gotten is Mandalorian season 1 and 2, Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, right?
Correct.
And now we have Andor. How are we feeling about Andor?
I enjoyed watching it last night. I would have to say it is different. I mean, it still feels like Star Wars for sure, but there's definitely a much more mature feeling with this one than there has been for really any on-screen Star Wars live action that I can think of. So that was kind of refreshing to see. I always enjoy when they're going to try doing something a little new, maybe something a little different. I mean, because even if this character has already been in a movie, it's still, that movie is a little lighter than this one. I mean, I know kind of like darker ending, but I mean, they're still playing around, jokes, get to K2SOs, like cracking jokes all the time. They have like an octopus that reads minds or whatever. Super Star Wars family friendly feeling, but this is it's a lot different from that.
Yeah, I don't know how many years. I'm trying to look it up. How many years before Rogue One is this?
It's 5 years before Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
Okay. Supposedly they only have 2 seasons planned. That's all they're gonna do. They're gonna do this season 12 episodes, next season 12 episodes, and then that's it. And supposedly, this is just what I heard, every 3 episodes is a year jump in season 2. So they're gonna jump forward. That's 4 years. So this is 5 years. And
the first season. So the first season's a year, and second season is every 3 episodes. It's another year.
Yeah, that's just what I heard. And so that means it bumps right up against Rogue One. Chances are, at the end of season 2, we'll see how much you want to bet Felicity Jones will come back. Just to show that one scene. And then
separate or something.
Yeah, like kind of. Yeah, just to like be like, oh, it bumps up against Rogue One. I don't know. Did you guys like Rogue One?
So I have 2 very broad things to say before we get into specifics. The first is that I love Rogue One a lot. Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. So I feel like this is for the TV shows what Rogue One was for the movies. Like when Rogue One came out, it was a very different Star Wars movie. It was, I feel like the vibe was different because it was like, oh, we know they're all going to die, but maybe they won't. And then they all died. So the fact that they killed everyone, I feel like was a big risk.
Yeah.
And then I feel like this one, maybe if this was backed up against a season of The Mandalorian, I'd feel differently. But following Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, this feels like a much more serious, like more like TV show, and not just like it's Star Wars, you know? So I think Mando is still at this point tops for me because I have a very, very close relationship with him emotionally. But this is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
It's pretty dang good.
Now, Matt, did you have anything to add to that?
No, well, I guess I'm going to give you my opinion on Rogue One. I like it a lot. Yeah. It's, I enjoyed it. I've seen it in theaters a couple times. And, it's great. I like it. I do think it's a little overrated personally. That doesn't mean I don't like it. I like it a lot. But, I feel like the character development in the movie is not as great as it's been in others. It's in the top 3 of the Disney era for me, but
yeah,
there's definitely a moment where Cassian's talking to Jin and he's like, I've lost people too, and then they're like friends. They're like best friends. There's definitely like a big span missing, but I think learning more about Cassian will maybe make me like Rogue One will make that deeper because you'll know more about his character.
Yeah. So I went into Rogue One. I was with my ex at the time, and she was like, "You didn't see that ending coming? Like, they don't talk about these characters at all in any of the other movies, like, right?" But I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a big galaxy. I don't like to consider like that they would have had to have died. Otherwise, they'd be part of the rebellion that we saw in the original trilogy." So I didn't go into it expecting them to die until they died. And I'm crying crying.
Well, is
in the
that why
theater.
she said it? Because you were crying?
She
I mean,
wasn't-
that doesn't.
She wasn't
Just because you
anti-crying.
cried. Well, no, but just because you're crying doesn't mean you didn't see it coming necessarily. You can still expect them to die and still have emotion toward it.
Yeah, no.
Seeing
It
play
wasn't
out.
so much that. It was that I adamantly did not see them. Adamantly did not see it coming. Like,
But I think that's the narrative. I think Tony Gilroy talked about that, where he was like, I went in thinking, okay, they're going to have some kind of a happy ending. Like Disney's not going to let me kill all of them. And then they were like, kill them all. And he was like, dope.
it's
None of
that's
them named
kind of-
Skywalker.
that's
Do what the hell you want to do.
That's where I was too. I was like, maybe everyone will die except for our main two. Maybe they go like galactic witness protection.
I thought they were gonna take a shuttle
didn't
off
because it was Disney. I didn't think they were going to kill everyone.
Yeah.
So I was shocked when they did.
I didn't even keep in mind that it was Disney related. That part, everybody talks about like Disney this and Disney that and blah blah blah. But I don't think Disney would be shy about it, right?
They do kill all the parents in every Disney movie. So
Yeah. So I didn't expect them to die. And then when they started to die, I didn't think all of them would die. And then I'm crying at the final. That also kills me. That's just a thing about fiction in general. When characters know they're going to die, that is the most important character moment to me in anything that I watch. No matter if they do die or they don't die, that is the most important thing. So
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. Like, why are you trying to make me cry right? Like, I will cry all day, every day about Toy Story 3.
I hate that moment in Toy Story 3. And when I saw it in the theaters, I was like, you guys, why are you crying? You really think you're going to kill the toys right now? But then when he gives the toys to the little kid and like, I lost it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it did get me. It got me after all.
All the characters being snapped away in Infinity War made me cry because it's what you do in that last moments, right? Like Peter begging for his life and like to Tony to help him. Like, it doesn't matter that I knew that like Spider-Man's gonna come back. Like, I know, but it's what you do is at that moment, right? It matters to the characters. And so whether or not it happens. So the first scene of this Andor thing was kind of rough for me. Even though the guy was a dick and they tried to hustle him for money, he's like, hey, I didn't see anything. Like, we don't have to do anything. And like, he knew he was gonna die, right? That one brothel guy, when he was like pleading for his life, and then Andor's like, I guess I gotta.
Yeah, I almost feel like he like gave him the idea.
You think so?
It kind of seemed like it. Like he was like, "Hey, wait, I'm not gonna say anything," and then he's like, "Oh yeah, shit, I should kill this guy."
Yeah, he didn't.
He could say something. I feel like right off the bat, they were like, we want you to know that this is a more adult show. So we're going to start off right off the bat at a brothel. And then we want you to know that Cassian is morally gray. So we're going to have him shoot a man while he's begging for his life. And I was like, I'm absolutely I'm in. I thank you for letting me know the expectations.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. And then, here's a droid to fall in love with.
That guy just fell and hit his head. We never see it, but like, we're assuming that like when Andor goes like this, the guy gets knocked back and hits his head.
Yeah.
I guess.
And with, and like
it's the Jessica Jones things where she hits that girl and then she goes into the coffee table. It's like a horrific scene of Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one stuck with me.
The boss.
Yeah, where she just hit her. I think he just hit him. He fell back and he hit his head like right on the right spot and accidentally died.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. I forgot about that. Thanks.
But that guy did have one of my favorite line readings of the whole episode, which was, and I wrote it down. I rewound it and wrote it down. Quote, "Hard look for a little thing like you." Like they make multiple references to how scrawny Cassian is. And I'm like, is he really
Is he scrawny?
He's not that scrawny. Like, but they call him like Scrawno multiple times.
They call him Scrawno.
Scrawno. But yeah, when he looks at him, he gives him a look and the guy says, "Hard look for a little thing like you." And I was like,
how tall is Diego? Is it Diego Luna?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luna. I always get Diego Luna and Gabrielle Luna mixed up. Just because they're both Lunas. Diego Luna's 5'10", so he's average height.
Yeah.
In Star
It's
Wars
them.
boots, he's 5'11", right? I feel every Star Wars boot has like at least an inch.
Yeah.
Scrano.
Yeah.
It's just Scrano's a dumb nickname because it's extra dumb because Star Wars characters are sometimes named like Scrano Bleak Black. Like that sounds like nicknames mean nothing in the Star Wars universe.
If George Lucas wrote this,
Right.
Cassian's name would be Scrano the Black.
What's the Death Stick guy?
Oh, I don't know. his name.
Sleazebagger. What's his name?
Yeah.
Sleaze.
Making me think about Attack of the Clones. Holy shit, dude. Death Stick guy's
What's his name?
Elon Cell Sub Agno.
No, that's not
His name's Elon?
Elon Musk. There has
I
to.
don't know.
Oh, Mr. Plow says bleak black. Oof.
Oh, is that what it's?
I mean, I didn't mean Elon Sabag. Oh, Elon Sleazebagano.
Sleazebagano.
He's Elon Sabagano, also known as
Oh,
Elon Sleazebagano.
Sells a bag. No.
Sells-a-bagno, and now it's Sleazebagano. Okay. Sells-a-bagno. So sells. Okay. Anyway, whatever. He's a drug dealer, and his name is Sleazebaganos. That's George Lucas. So nicknames mean nothing in the Star Wars universe because it just could mean a name. Hey, I just thought his name was Scrano. You know. But,
Mando, Scrano,
what's that?
nothing.
Oh, let's talk about the droid. You mentioned the droid. What's his name? B3
B2 Emo.
B2 Emo. Is that what it is?
That is his name. B2 EMO. B2 Emo.
He's
Okay.
not too emo.
Can't be too
And
emo.
he has
Is
a
he?
stutter.
Oh, I would lay down my life for I just every droid. Every droid. There's not, I mean,
Yeah, but that's the Star Wars philosophy, right? Like that's the Star Wars litmus test. It's, do you like droids? Are you okay? Do you consider droids autonomous things, right? Or do you treat them like slaves? That's how you can tell a bad person in Star Wars.
well, I mean, love of my life, Din Djarin does kind of hate droids.
But the goal is learning to accept it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like his arc is that. But this B2 Emo thing, does he have arms? No, right? Can he
Doesn't
do
look like it.
anything?
Well,
He's
the
got,
first time we're introduced to him, those space dogs are peeing.
Oh,
on
yeah, they
him,
pee
and
on
he
him.
has a little he zaps him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Plow says, are you filling out a Star Wars dating profile? Do you like droids? I think that's an important
Must
thing.
love droids.
I also think that even if you're a Star Wars fan and in real life and your hard opinion is that droids do not matter, they are not alive, end of story, and that's the way you view the Star Wars universe, I think you also maybe have something wrong with you. Is that a hot take? Because
don't
we've
think so.
seen that they
It
have
shouldn't be.
personalities and they're not organic, but we see them have some sort of life.
I just remember when BB-8, when they first dropped stuff for BB-8, and I was like, this is just a cash grab so you can buy toys. And then I was like, and I will buy them. I'm gonna buy every toy. I have a giant stuffed BB-8. I have the little remote control BB-8. I love B. And they refer to him as B in the show, and I'm like, I like B. And he's been with them for so long.
Yeah, and he didn't have a stutter in the flashback.
No, he was all shiny and new.
Yeah, I'm afraid of these 5 years because a lot can happen in 5 years. Like B2 Emo can get explode. These characters are gonna die. The lady seems like she's gonna die of old age. Like in 5 years' time, even if it's not fighting the Empire, she could just die in her bed. That's Aunt Petunia from Harry Potter,
Yes.
the actress who plays her.
Which is a testament to what a great actress she is, because she's so likable in everything else I've ever seen her in, and so unlikable in Harry Potter. She's also the therapist in Fleabag season 2.
Is
She's
she?
one of my favorites. Yep.
I've seen.
She has
Fleabag.
a quick part.
Yeah.
It's where she has the counseling voucher and she goes to see the therapist. Yeah, she's that. I love her. I thought she was fantastic in this. And in multiple times in my notes, I wrote, please don't kill her. Or like, don't touch her.
Yeah.
She's a good mom.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm going to open it up to you guys, but like the 3 episodes dropped. I watched them with subtitles so I can learn names and whatever. Is it kind of confusing in the beginning? I think I might have to rewatch the first. I think I might have to rewatch these episodes again because they drop a lot of like people's names in that first episode where they're like, "Don't tell blah 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 and blah blah blah," and then also who else is there? Is blah blah blah, and I'm like, I can't keep track of all these names. I haven't even seen faces for these names.
Yeah, no, I
think I got it. But I did have to take notes because there's Bix, there's Marva, and then
Bix is Adria Arjona's
the most beautiful woman in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And then the other one they name dropped, who I didn't write his name down, is the friend that he goes and sees who immediately helps him with the alibi.
Oh, yeah.
Like the world's best dude.
Yeah. Whatever his name is. I don't know what his name is. What's his name?
I forgot what his name is.
I'm gonna have to look this up. Okay, so who's Marva?
That's his mom.
Okay, Marva's his mom.
Dr. Mom. Yeah.
And then who? Okay, Tim is the guy that Bix is hooking up with.
Yeah. R.I.P. Kind of.
Who's a great improviser? Mr. Plow says somebody's a great improviser. You mean in the context of the show?
I think he means the guy who gave the alibi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like just the best. Like that's a solid dude. Like I feel like everyone needs a guy like that in their life. That he just, he yes-anded. He yes-anded hard. He was like, you also need an alibi for the cut on your face, so I'm going to come up with that too.
This show has a different vibe that like I didn't catch everything, and I wasn't lingering on every word because the rhythm of the scenes kind of move differently in this show. There are slower scenes that are for character development and just taking your time. This show is a great example of how you can what you can accomplish with Star Wars if you take your time. But also you got to be comfortable with them taking their time.
For me, it was really striking because I love Rogue One so much. And how kind of closed off Cassian is during Rogue One, and seeing him here with friends and family and like good friends and even random people he's sleeping with, like when his mom was like, she names off names and then she's like, and then there's some I haven't even learned their name. And I was like, yeah, Cassian is living a life. He's experiencing these things with these people. And like, we know where he's going to be at the end of the 5 years of like not, being kind of closed off. And that makes me like both happy and sad, like to be able to see him with these people. It's like, you did have people.
Yeah.
Which is like, maybe that might be why I was like immediately emotionally invested in the show. Like as soon as he met with his friend and his friend like was riffing with the excuse, I was like, oh, he had people and he doesn't have people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of makes me anxious what's going to happen to everybody.
Who's Perrin? Is Perrin somebody? Perrin?
I don't know.
Or is that Tim?
That doesn't sound like
Who are these characters?
Are you on the IMDb?
Yeah. Because sometimes they have beards and their IMDb photos don't. So I'm like, I don't know. I like all the I like the costuming in this. And I think it's a return to Star Wars. Okay, so something I've probably said on previous shows is that like I grew up, a good amount of my life was between original trilogy and before prequel trilogy came out. So prequel trilogy came out when I was in 6th grade. So my elementary school years was expanded universe Star Wars novels and Tales from Jabba's Palace and Tales of the Bounty Hunters. And these little stories that did not have the Jedi in them and did not have the Force in them. And from a young age, I knew that like Star Wars doesn't have to hinge on the Jedi to be interesting, right? But like Star Wars does hinge on a couple things, and that's like outdated machinery.
Mm-hmm.
Like this show shows, and I'm like, okay, this is a return to form. This didn't need the Jedi to be interesting. You know?
The Alibis guy's name is Brasso.
Brasso, that's right. Because there's a character in Only Murders in the Building. Well, the Steve Martin's character plays a detective named Brasso.
Mm.
His character plays another character because he's an actor. Anyway, the point being is Brasso.
Yeah.
So we got Brasso, we got Bix, we got Tim. Yeah, I don't know. What are you guys thinking about this show? Like, what we're jumping around.
I want to talk about a man that I mentioned many times in my notes, about how much I wanted to punch him in the face, which is the guy who's the commander of like the security company that the Empire or whoever is.
It's called Premor.
Yeah, Cyril, I think is the guy's name. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, because I literally never heard anyone say it. I just saw it spelled.
Yeah.
Like starting off an introduction to the character, having his boss be like, "Did you make your uniform tighter?" is amazing. Like that's the first interaction was like, "Did you tailor your uniform?" And he was like, "Yeah, maybe." Yeah. And I was like, "This guy is terrible." Like I think what I'm thinking about things like The Mandalorian, as opposed to this, is The Mandalorian is super character focused on Din, but he's so closed off. And you have Moff Gideon, but he's kind of like this nebulous thing. Whereas I think like from the jump, giving us a character to hate, that's like immediately the antagonist to Cassian, who's very easy to hate, very punchable face. The actor's fantastic because I'm sure he's a nice person, but like they developed him so well immediately as like, I see why he's doing it. Guy? Yeah. Like I see why he's doing it. You know, he's not okay with being complicit in like a cover up of these murders, but ultimately
not just a cover up. It is a cover up, but it's more like just neglecting the death of these guys.
Yeah. He said, I wrote down the quote where he says like, make up a story for them.
Yeah.
And he says, make it sad, but inspiring in a mundane sort of way. And I was like, that's a well-written line right there.
He says something like nothing too heroic.
Yeah.
We don't need a parade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need a parade. We don't need a statue. And I was like, that's amazing. But yeah, he's so hateable and so like pathetic. Like when he's giving that speech and he's like, yeah, let's go out there and don't let people get away with stuff. And then they're like, I was like, this guy's so pathetic.
Because he's is he a pencil pusher? He's not used to being out in the field, right?
Yeah, he's more of like, I feel like he's more of like an executive. Like he's out in the field with them because the guy's like, it'll do them good to see you out in the field.
He's an officer, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't my original thought, but like I also heard, I forget who it was saying that he was in contrast to the other guy who was like all super gung ho and all like, we need to send all these guys to go, arrest one person, and was like, getting like all fueled up like he's gonna, I don't know, making what he was about to do to be some like super heroic mission or whatever, and I guess overstepping his authority.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to get someone excited when you have a Scottish accent. I think like he really does the
Sergeant Kostek.
Yeah, the Braveheart. Yeah,
Sergeant Kostek is the guy who's just like
gung ho.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I love that guy. That was my favorite complaint that I've seen of Andor is someone's like, since when have there been Scottish people? Like, where is Scotland in Star Wars? And I'm like, people have British accents. What
in
Force Awakens.
I mean, what's Stellan Skarsgård's background?
Swedish, right?
No, but from his last name. But does he have a Swedish accent? Not
all I
this.
know
Thought it was.
all I know is nobody gave him any notes on how to say Andor. Love that everyone else is saying Andor, and he commits hard to the ER. That
yeah.
Andor.
Well,
I'm like, love it.
I remember that from the trailer. He's like Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Cassian
I was like, love it.
Like he's a pirate.
Like a
you know?
pirate.
Yeah. Liam,
Yeah, I've been
he's
saying
very-
Andor
Liam
all
Neeson
day
is
today.
very like that.
Yeah, Andor.
That under my breath at work.
Mr. Plow says it's a weird American gruff accent. No, it's not American. It's Irish. I think it's like a Liam Neeson type, like Cassian Andor.
Cassian.
Cassian Andor. Come with
Cassian
me,
Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah, he sounds like Davy Jones.
Dude, that is such a it's a pirate, dude.
It's a pirate. Cassian Andor. Well, it's kind of like in original trilogy. They're like Leah. I don't know. We're all saying it different.
Hey, Dimitri, can you do an Irish accent? Yeah. Shimber me timbers.
Shimber.
Shimber.
Whatever the hell they say.
Shiver me timbers. It's shiver.
Arr. Whatever.
All right. It's shimber.
It sounds like shimber.
Shimber me timber. It's. I don't think it originally rhymed.
Well, I made it rhyme, so
Yeah,
it's
shimber
better.
me timber.
I feel like every scene though that Scar, is it which Skarsgård is he?
Stellan.
Stellan? Okay. Every scene he was in was so delightful.
Yeah.
The scene where the guy was annoying him on the shuttle was just beautiful. Like that, it's like peak Star Wars comedy to me, where it's like, yeah, the galaxies are just like us. They have an annoying old guy on the bus that tries to talk to you and then like moves over to talk to you, and you're like, he's clearly not engaging with him, but he won't leave him alone.
Yeah.
He was a lot more polite than I would be.
Does he have a retractable sword? What is that he's carrying?
I think it's a cane.
It's a retractable cane?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to look like a lightsaber?
I definitely thought it was a lightsaber
It's like, yeah.
on the first time I saw
Like
it.
a vibro blade, vibro sword.
Didn't notice.
I don't know what it is, but I'm excited to see him kill somebody with it at some point, probably.
Are there just
I'm
gonna be
all for that.
hardcore shit this whole like series? Because we already had like those like rebel the rebel dead people on Canary turn yellow from whatever killed them.
Oh, okay. I need to talk about those people.
Which part?
Okay, this is my-
Canary.
Yes,
Yeah.
the people that crashed on Canary.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can help me with this.
Yeah.
But so they're on Canary. They crash.
Mm-hmm.
Marva says, they're like, you can't leave. He has people here. And she's like, yeah, people that just killed a Republic officer. Okay, so they say that then there's a Republic ship circling.
Oh, Republic
to-
officer. Oh.
Yeah, she says Republic. She says there's a Republic ship. That's why we have to leave.
Oh, okay.
But on the uniform of the people, they have the separatist hexagon.
Oh, that's right. I just realized because that's a flashback. That's not 5 years before.
Which I had to Google because I am not, you guys know, I'm not a Clone Wars gal. And I was like, wait a minute, the Republic. I was like, okay, but the Republic and the Separatists are technically both bad guys because the Republic becomes the Empire because Palpatine takes it over. But she clearly says they killed a Republic officer. There's a Republic ship coming to clean it up, but he's wearing the Separatist logo. All of them are.
So, well, here's the thing. There's some sort of biological warfare on that ship or something, right?
Right, because the gas explodes, and that's why they're all yellow.
So chances are that there might be a plot, like a separatist plot within the Republic. You know?
I thought it was a very weird detail.
I think I have to rewatch this whole, like, all 3 episodes, because, like,
yeah,
a lot happened and all at once in a new
Yeah.
show. It wasn't like they released the last 3 episodes together. They released the first 3 of this new show. I mean, how old's Cassian Andor supposed to be? Like
Andor.
Yeah.
That's also a point of contention because he's supposed to be, I think, like 26 in
Rogue One?
Rogue One.
What?
So technically he's supposed to be 21
He's
here.
not 21.
But there's no way. So they're kind of rewriting the canon on how old he is.
Wait, how do you know he's that old?
They say it's in like his like Wikipedia, I guess.
What?
Look,
No.
You've seen some shit, man.
Diego Luna is born 1979.
No, Diego Luna's significantly older,
So
but Cassian
89, 99, 2009.
Cassian's supposed to be 20. He's supposed to be 26 in Rogue One.
80, 40. I don't know. Okay. So
he was born 26 BBY on Kenari. 26. And died 0 BBY.
This is him when he's 21?
Yeah. Which is believable if you look at that like hologram of him. He looks when his beard is shaved, he looks really young. But also, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just maybe they
I don't trust
age
the 26
differently.
BBY. I don't trust it.
I mean, I'm willing to accept it.
Okay. That's fair.
I mean, that's what was established before this show.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly they can be changing things around. Because, then he was supposed to be like 6 years old on Kenari, which he's obviously not. He's obviously like 10, 12.
It's not the hairline of a 21-year-old.
Well, and that he'd be 20. Oh, yeah, that'd be.
No, yeah, he's supposed to be 21 in the show.
No, in this show. But in that he'd be 26. Because it's BBY. Oh, no, you're right. Sorry.
This is 5 BBY.
Yeah, sorry. I thought that was Rogue One in your background. I didn't see There's a lot of brunettes in Star Wars. So, okay. Now I'm back on track. That is not the hairline of a 21-year-old. There's a lot going on in this show, and I'm trying to figure out, like, kind of where it's going and what the purpose is. Is the purpose... I don't know. What do you guys think the purpose of this show is? Because they've already okayed and whatever greenlit 24 episodes, right? 2 seasons of 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, what is the purpose of all this? And what is so special about this show that, like, they were just like, yeah, doesn't matter where we are. We're just going to do 24 episodes. 24 episodes.
When you say the purpose, what do you mean?
I mean, honestly, I could tell you my take, but it's going to be coming from a very emotional place because I will be honest, I cried last night at a particular scene in this show.
When Tim died, your favorite character?
Love that guy. Yeah.
Tim with 2 M's. More. Yeah, well, what do you mean, Dimitri? Purpose of the show? Like, theme of the show? What
know about Sarah
creatively was trying to do?
So,
Sarah crying.
In the conversation between Luthen, I think his name is, again, everyone calls Cassian by his name and no one else
Luthen,
by their names.
Rael.
Yeah. The conversation between him and Cassian made me cry when they were in that warehouse, when he was talking and he was saying, and I wrote down a lot of stuff.
You just walk in.
When they're saying, it's like, this is the seed of the rebellion. This is where it starts. We've seen it be successful. We've seen it fail. We've seen it have to come back in the sequels. And that whole idea of like, we're the people that are going to light the spark that's going to burn the First Order to the ground. That quote, it's like, this is like the spark of the spark. This is like the idea to make a spark. And it was so powerful to me when he was talking and he said, don't you want to fight these bastards for real? And the whole town is out there like beating on the stuff. And then Marva says like, that's what a reckoning sounds like. It's like the origins of the rebellion and how these people got pushed to the point of what they had to do. Like, I think, in Star Wars, it's very like, woo, like, oh, it's the Empire and the rebellion. But I think they're going so much deeper into what does that actually, sorry, I'm getting all, but like, what does that actually mean? What does it mean to be pushed to a point that you will go on a mission to get the Death Star plans? It's going to end in certain death. It's a clear suicide mission because you believe in this so much and you have to bring an evil empire down, like the colonization stuff on his home planet. And then like the police corruption stuff. And even with Tim, Like, you just shot an unarmed man with his hands up, like all that stuff. It's like, it's very easy to be like, this is the rebellion. Like, we've only seen it when it was fully formed, but seeing it as a group of radicalized individuals that are finally the ones to stand up and say something, I think that's going to be a powerful journey for like everyone. So I think that journey of finding the people that are going to make the rebellion actually happen. Yeah. Like because even by the time we're in Rogue One, we've got Leia, we've got Mon Mothma. Like we're established as like, you know, we're small but mighty, but like we're gonna kind of see them all come together here.
I have a lot of thoughts, but do you guys think we're gonna see a teenage Leia? We're gonna see Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll have a significant role if she makes an appearance. I don't think we'll see her.
Yeah. Personally, I hope if we see a teenage Leia, I hope it's the actress who played the young Leia, but years down the line, and we just get to grow with Leia. I'm cool with that.
You mean like another show?
Yeah.
Years down the line.
I mean, kind of what I talked about with the Obi-Wan Kenobi during the Obi-Wan Kenobi after show is, I wouldn't mind having just a continuous Princess Leia show. And
put Leia in everything.
Like, give her her own show and just let us see like her, like the actress grow up into the role.
Like, all I know is I made that cosplay for my daughter and she shared it on her Instagram story and I was like, we made it. We made it, guys.
That is cool.
So Matt, did you have any thoughts about kind of what Sarah was talking about, the seeds of rebellion and everything?
No, yeah. Ditto.
Okay. I think it's interesting because, and this is where a lot of Star Wars fans that lack media literacy, they fall off, is that in the original Star Wars trilogy, good and bad are inherent things. They're just like, there is good and then there's bad, and bad fights good, and that is what it is. And the Empire is bad and the Rebellion is good, and there's gray area is only up and like Han Solo is gray because he hasn't chosen a side as opposed to doing bad things per se. It's just he hasn't chosen a side, so he's just nothing as opposed to being gray. But like, it's so broad strokes space opera that it's like megalomaniacal villain kind of situation. And then as time has gone on, I'll give credit to the prequel trilogy. It actually weirdly found like political ways to show the rise of the Empire. And like, it was no longer a space fantasy because it's not broad strokes bad versus good anymore, right? It's about how people can be swayed and tricked into voting a show of no faith for Chancellor Valorum and so on and so forth, right? Like, people can be manipulated to do bad things. And then we get into like, the sequel trilogy and then the shows where we're starting to get more and more in depth and almost comparable to real life stuff, like about bad and good and everything in between, and structures of power now, where it's like, are you bad? Are you evil? Or are you just part of the system, the structure of power of systematic oppression, right?
Yeah, because with Cyril, it's like, as much as I hate him and his dumb little hat, it's like I can see why you think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, I can see how you think all of this is justified and how what just happened is going to radicalize him. He thinks this murderer just killed his fellow people to escape murder, you know, which, I mean, technically he did, you know, but.
Why? Who was driving that car that exploded?
I think it was just like a brick on the gas pedal.
Cool. Yeah. But like a Star Wars brick. So they would call it like a Bronc.
It would be a brick, but with like 2 Ks at the end to know it's from space.
Yeah.
Just like Tim.
Yeah. Wait, he thinks he killed who?
Well, because, I mean, they lost members of their team, right?
Who died of the members of the team? The cops.
Yeah, whoever was outside he put the charges, Luthen put the charges on the doors and then blew them up. So whatever was happening with like the giant Final Destination thing swinging down, people were definitely killed there.
Then there was the guy who got
who crashed. Yeah.
Brasso, right? Would have tied that piece to his thing, and then he crashes, so he dies, right?
Yeah. It's done for.
Yeah.
So he thinks he's, in the right, and then this happens. So like we're watching it happen on both ends, and it's that whole like they're all morally gray, which is how real life is.
Morally gray, but which side do you serve? Which master do you serve? What do you want me to tell? Say Jesus? Like the Infinity War? What was I trying to say? Yeah, it's gonna radicalize Cyril or whatever. And then Sergeant Caustic is going to be Sergeant Caustic. Like, he's going to be whatever he is.
That's a man who's set in who he is.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change him.
There's that. I think they're definitely making a point about the cops in this. Is that, feel free to talk about what you want to talk about, but whatever you guys want to say, this is my thoughts are my thoughts. This is a commentary on the police system. I think in Andor show, even down to the costumes that they wear. When they put on their like football pads and they're like walking around like they're tough guys, but they don't know anything, like in their orange and blue, like they're trying to look bigger and more macho. They have a like stake in being the biggest guy there. Yes, the unarmed shooting of Tim.
And when they're going in, they say like, they're never really happy to see us here. So they're already going in prepped for
laughing about it too.
Gonna be aggressive. Yeah. And even the stuff with Bix, when they were like, why are you running? It's like, that's not a reason to abuse someone because they were just running. Yeah. I think it's one of those things that when I'm watching, I was like, yeah, that's a clear thing but I feel like it won't be clear.
Not to mention on whatever planet they're on, they're not, whatever the Pre-More station is, whatever that is, even like their dialogue, Zyril's to the chief, about just kind of moving on. I didn't really like that guy anyway, he says. Like, he was like, yeah, whatever. They did something wrong to the wrong guy. That's what happens.
They're supposed to be like, because they're not stormtroopers, right?
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be security guards who are like thinking that they're soldiers. Is like kind of like what you guys are getting from.
They're soldiers.
But are they really cops? Are they even? Do you even have that?
I think they're like a security that's been.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like they're contracted.
Yeah. Trying to believe they're soldiers.
And those two guys were on duty drinking in a brothel.
Right.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
I will say,
training.
I had like a massive like pre-panic moment when the thing was happening with Tim, and it was the like only black guy in the scene, and I was like, if you have the black cop shoot the unarmed guy, I'm gonna not. And then it was the other guy did it, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Whew. I was like, that would have been problematic. I mean, it still is, obviously, but I was like,
they aren't security guards. Let's. They're more private cops. Because I mean, security guards don't have any jurisdiction. Like, these cops do have the jurisdiction to go do that. They're just ill-trained.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
There's no oversight. And I think what they're trying to do is also show a delineation between who they are and what stormtroopers are. Because we would assume that stormtroopers are more trained in this time period. Maybe? I don't know. Because stormtroopers are pretty inept. These guys are pretty inept. But, like, these guys are a step down from stormtroopers, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, but they're getting themselves all, like, pumped up for this mission they're going to do.
it's a big macho kind of thing, right? It's like, let's bash in heads, yeah. You know.
And it's that thing that Luthen says when he's talking to Cassian about the Empire being like fat and satisfied. Like they think they're in the right. They think no one can come for them. And essentially we're going to. And I think that was the first time they said Empire maybe in the show. I think it wasn't until episode 3 when Luthen said it, where he said the Empire. Because they said something about his home planet, that it was like an Imperial mining, which was then weird because then it was Republic. And I was like, oh yeah, the Republic becomes Imperial. I was like this.
Well, they only become the Galactic Empire when the Emperor dissolves the Senate.
Right. During Revenge of the Sith.
He doesn't dissolve the Senate in Revenge of the Sith, does he? I thought he does it during A New Hope.
Wait, when? No, doesn't he claim like from the Senate chambers like this is the first galactic empire? I thought he did that in Revenge of the Sith.
Well, he declares it, yes. Well, empire is something you declare behind closed doors, right?
Bankruptcy.
He didn't. He said it on the floor of the Senate.
The dissolution of the Imperial Senate was the suspension of the legislative body of the Galactic Empire. 19 years after the Empire's founding. When did it happen? Oh, during Zero BBY.
Okay.
It's during A New Hope, but I think it's more specifically during. It might be during Rogue One.
That makes it all more. I'm okay. Then his home planet thing still remains confusing, and I'm hoping that they explain it because Cassian's Kanari, because they say it was destroyed in an Imperial mining disaster and everybody died.
Well, okay, maybe they are the Empire. Yeah, because it says you're right. Chancellor Palpatine proclaims himself Galactic Empire or Emperor.
During Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. He transforms the Republic Senate into a purely ceremonial assembly.
Okay, and then he just like totally dissolves it later. He's like stops putting on the show.
Yeah. The Emperor preserved the Senate in order to make the Empire's member worlds believe that they still had a part to play in the government. That's yes. The reason he dissolves it is because he has the Death Star. That's it. He has the Death Star. Nobody can stand up to him. So he dissolves the Senate. He wants to dissolve the Senate, but then he keeps the Senate until the Death Star is completed. And then then you don't need the Senate anymore because who's gonna stop him? You know? Yeah. So I guess they would be the Empire at this point too. So there's a lot of things going on with this. I want to go back and I want to rewatch everything.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of it. I definitely want to rewatch it again when it's not 1 a.m. But I love that the flashbacks when they're speaking a different language. I love that it's not translated.
You like that?
I love that they don't have subtitles. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. I was like, that's such a good touch because like you know what's going on. And when he left his sister, I was like, I don't know what this language is, but I'm pretty sure he said like, we'll talk about it when I get back, or like I'll see you when I get back. Yeah, because that's like the classic thing you say when you're never going to see someone again.
Sometimes you don't need words for feelings either, right? Or you don't need to understand what they're saying.
You understand what's going on. Yeah. Which is all those amazing young actors. It's like good for all of them. They did amazing.
Yeah. I feel like they're supposed to give like indigenous vibes, right? And at the same time, they have wreckage of ships that they've been salvaging. And there's no adults. I believe all the parents have died.
Yeah, I didn't see adults either.
They've gone.
And one of them was wearing like the flight suit too, right?
Yeah. Orange one, like a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because they said it was destroyed by the mining disaster. I'm wondering if all the adults died in the mining disaster and they assumed, and there was just like a small group of like kids and teenagers left.
I thought mining disaster was them going to be covering up the death of the massacre of the children.
Yeah, it could be that too.
Yeah. But you're right. Mining disaster could be the death of all the adults were mining. Right?
Yeah, because the mining, when Cassian goes there, and sees, like, it's not like anything's going on. It's like an abandoned mining.
Yeah. When the last time we saw a mining thing was during Solo, where Chewbacca is, right? Kind of reminded me of that. It's not the same planet, is it?
You mean where Han meets Chewbacca?
Yeah, because they're all like locked up, right? And they're mining. Whatever mine that is.
I don't know.
They hop a lot of places in both Rogue One and Solo. They go to so many planets.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know your guys' thoughts as we close this up. Why is this show so different? Personally, my thing hinges on it lacks fan service, which is both good and bad. Like, good if you know it's telling its own story without having to explain itself to fans. It's like a whole new almost beginning, right? Like, I was watching this and being like, if this was a standalone science fiction movie, it would still stand on its own. Like, it's just like a Blade Runner-esque kind of thing where it's like it takes place in a non-set universe, not a franchise. It's just kind of what it is. But the lack of fan service is like they don't need to answer to us. We can like it if we want to. They're not desperate for our love. They're desperate to tell a good story. That's what I think.
I think you're mostly correct. I mean, just the idea of the show itself is, I mean, it's Andor, right? It's a spinoff from Rogue One. So,
yeah.
But, I mean, that's about it, right? That's really all that there is obvious in fan service right now. There have been really like cameos going like, oh, remember this guy? Remember her? Whatever. Right. So, yeah. Nobody's drinking blue milk. Got it.
But there were blue noodles.
Blue noodles.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, that's really cool. He's like eating like a disposable, like, I don't know. It's just never thought of anything like that before.
Sweet or savory?
I don't know, but I'm giving it 3 months before they start serving them at Galaxy's Edge.
They're already selling the droid at the droid factory.
Oh, I know.
Are they? B2 emo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend's going to be there tomorrow and she's buying me one. Like,
nice.
I need him in my life.
By the way, I want to go to Galaxy's Edge because I've never been. And it's bad that I just haven't gone to Disneyland in a couple of years. Since Galaxy's Edge started, I haven't gone at all. And I haven't gone to Avengers Campus either. So
you got to go once they have Din out there, which is going to be, I think, next month. Yeah. You got to go fast because I'm assuming that he will not be there for long because of the way that people act when there's, the way that people act towards Din Djarin. I'm assuming there's not going to be very good boundaries that people set with that actor.
You can dress up in Star Wars garb, right?
As long as you're not like in a costume.
But a lot
you
of
can wear. You can
like in this
you can
show,
be like you could go as Cassian, no problem, or like Jin. Like you could do those ones that are more, but like you can't dress as Rey or like Darth Vader or Kylo Ren unless you're a child.
Yeah. You can wear like clothes. You can make yourself look like you're a citizen of Galaxy. Star Wars clothes, like make it look like you're a citizen of Galaxy's Edge or something.
Yeah, you just can't put yourself in a situation where a child would ask for a picture with you, essentially.
Yeah. If they think that you are part of the show, they're going to say no.
Yeah, you'll get in trouble. Okay.
But what if I look cool, though?
What do you mean if, Dimitri? Come on.
I also like that the show has made like booty calls canon.
Hell yeah.
Like obviously people have had sex in the Star Wars universe because they have children.
We don't know.
You know?
We need to
aftermath.
See it. We need to
It's an aftermath novel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I like that we saw that actually happen, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. And they say shit for the first time. Did you notice that?
That's also in a novel. Someone says shit in a novel too.
Oh, okay.
I saw someone post about it because they were like, I don't want anyone thinking that
first time on
rent-a-cops were the ones to say it. Yeah, probably first time on screen.
There you go. Unless,
I think the tone is really
Rebels did
different.
it.
I think that they're focused on the story that they want to tell. And yeah, it's like we're not going to focus on fan service. And it's like we'll obviously get more familiarity as we get to the Empire and the very scary blonde Empire lady that's going to be on there.
Yeah.
Soon. It's like we're obviously going to get some more familiarity, but the idea of starting with stuff that's so unfamiliar is something I really like. Like he had the little bantha plushie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
in
that was
his
cool.
bedroom.
I hate
like,
the
give me
idea
these
that
toys.
like they go in and they just wreck his whole room. Like regardless of whether like a person's guilty or innocent, you get your room wrecked and you got to figure it out later. That's real life.
But then
right?
also,
Like,
I think I wrote in my notes that's amateur hour Cassian Andor when he was like, I'll just broadcast a message through my droid and hope that nobody overhears it. Like that droid, he could have been anywhere.
yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
and then he had to get like the crash course in like no comms, like don't do this. And he's like, oh, he's already learning.
Yeah.
Crash just calm.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the show. I think it's too early to say where do we think it's going, but I mean we also know where it's going.
Yeah, to us, a beach on Scarif.
Is it gonna be sad? Am I just gonna be sad all the time with this show?
Have you been sad so far?
I think it's gonna ramp up to sadness, and I think people are just gonna start dying as we get closer.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think we necessarily I don't think Bix has to die. I mean, maybe this is wishful thinking, but like he's obviously leaving to go with someone else. Like, I mean, she's going to be recurring, but she doesn't have to die. She could just kind of not want to be a part of the rebellion. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least Cassian has that sweet plot armor. So we know. Yeah. I mean, at least for this show, you know, nothing's going to happen to him. Yeah. But the emotional trauma might be worse. But also, no one like stares out of a window like Diego Luna or like walks with purpose. Like I find him so captivating. I think he's such a great actor. I love him. And it runs in the family because my daughter also loves him. He's a voice actor for a show called Maya and the Three on Netflix. And she loves him in that. But I showed her a picture and she's like, he's not as cute as his animated counterpart. And I was like, cool. I don't have to fight you.
Yeah, he doesn't have like his face isn't something like a kid would be like, oh, my crush. I don't know.
Yeah, he's very in the show, he's very Targaryen-y. It's very like silver hair. Sorry, I'm getting another Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah. I want to thank both of you so much for coming on the show and talking to me about episodes 1 to 3 of Andor.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody out there for watching. If you're watching our live stream, that's on twitch.tv/TheKeeg Show or youtube.com/TheKeeg Mr. Plow's out there. Derpy Derp. What was your name?
Dr. Derpy.
Dr. Derpy. Dr. Derpy.
Was that what it was? Dr. Derp?
Yeah. And you know, whoever else is out there watching or listening to the podcast, wherever you get your podcast from, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're there. Obviously, there are more episodes to come. And then in a couple hours, we do our She-Hulk after show, and that's pretty cool too. So we got after shows upon after shows. So if anyone's out there and staying up and watching She-Hulk, She-Hulk drops at midnight, and then we do a 1 a.m. Pacific time after show for She-Hulk tonight. So Wednesday nights, that's you get your after show double feature. From next episode on, I know that Sarah will be co-hosting the Andor after show. Sarah, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ms_Marauder. We got a couple cons coming up after Halloween, so we will be cosplaying and sharing all that goodness.
Awesome. Are you going to LA Comic-Con?
I am going to LA Comic-Con, and I'm doing 2 weekends back-to-back of anime cons because my daughter loves anime now.
Yeah.
So there's Anime Expo Chibi, which is like tiny, cute Anime Expo in November. And then the week after, it's Anime Pasadena. So go back-to-back.
Cool. And Matthew, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that you were able to come on and talk Because
Mhm.
3 episodes is a big thing. Like we had to watch it
Yeah.
like last night in order and then I wake up, I go to work, and then I do all my other stuff, and then
Yeah.
it's the only time I can watch it is
Had,
before I
had to
to
go
sleep.
to work and take a test today
Oh, how'd that
at
go?
school. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay.
No, like literally 100%. I know.
Oh,
that's
nice.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Matthew, where can people find you online?
Instagram, Matthew A. Maury. Find me there. If you want to listen to my music, you can search "The Devil Don't Take Holidays." That's our probably most accessible song for anybody. So,
What's the band?
Cross Check.
Okay.
So I said there's multiple cross checks. So search the song if you really want to hear.
Okay.
And then look out for our new album, Shimber Me Timbers,
Shimber
coming soon.
By Cassian Ender.
By Cassian Ender.
Cassian Ender.
Cassian Ender.
Shimber Me Timbers with Cassian Ender.
Shimber me timber. Cool. Awesome. Thank you everybody for being a part of this. Thank you to everybody out there for watching and or listening. If you're on social media, follow the Keeg at the Keeg Show on social media. So TikTok and Instagram are big ones at the Keeg Show. But we're also on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Obviously Twitch and YouTube. So it's either at the Keeg Show or / the Keeg Show. That's how you find us on everything. But other than that, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Once again, I am your host, Dimitri Pereira, and this has been the Andor After Show, talking about episodes 1, 2, 3. Bye.